As I began to do more video for my business, I started receiving a lot of comments and compliments, not only from my friends and family, but from other business owners that would often say, "Wow, you look so comfortable on video. I wish I could be like that. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing or saying." And one of the reasons why it is so easy for me to get on video and to do things like YouTube videos is because I have spent a lot of time looking at myself from not a critical angle, but from more, let's call it an artistic angle, of really understanding what lighting and space and positioning and posture can do for you. One of the things that really holds people back from doing video for their business is simply being too self-critical of themselves and comparing themselves to other people, not only in the business space, but maybe even in the entertainment space, when really, if you just understand the basics of how video works and how your setup should be, it makes for a smoother, more beautiful, and more usable video. So instead of listening to just those internal self-criticisms that often just harbor on physical looks, you'll start to understand how utilizing the tools of good video can not only create a better video experience for you, but a better video experience for your audience. So one of the first rules of video is this: you have to present yourself in a confident manner. Now that can be hard for a lot of us. You'll notice a lot of times when you go to take people's pictures, they'll say, "I don't like my picture being taken." But when you ask them why, they can't tell you. They just say, "I just don't like the way I look." Nobody has a perfect body. Nobody has a perfect face. Nobody has a perfect smile. It's the imperfections that actually make us all beautiful. Sure, I have my own physical hang-ups, but it's never anything that anybody else notices. Whatever you're obsessing about on your physical demeanor, no one else is looking at. And a great way to start building up your confidence in order to actually be on video is to simply start doing exercises like talking to yourself in the mirror or getting used to talking to a camera. And the camera doesn't even have to be on. In fact, if it makes you more comfortable, you could always have someone sit across the room and you talk to them. Oftentimes we find that speaking to an inanimate object like a camera can make us feel more stiff and awkward, whereas talking to another person makes it easier. So by practicing things like talking to yourself in the mirror or talking to another person across the room while a camera is pointed on you, can start to help you loosen up and have more inner confidence about actually putting yourself out there on video. And this is definitely the time you want to up your video game, because there's a lot more video messaging and conferences going on these days. You also want to look at things like physical posture. Simply by standing up, holding your shoulders back, and holding your core engaged will give you a more self-assured feeling and stronger confidence just by posture alone. Try it right now, no matter where you are. You'll feel yourself projecting more of the image that you'd want the world to see. Whereas when you slouch or you keep your head down, you naturally start assuming the poses of someone who doesn't want to be seen. And definitely on video, you want to make sure that you're actually presenting in an I want to be seen way. One of the other things about looking good on video is noticing that you don't have to make a lot of movements to actually get a response. You'll notice in my video that my body's not moving that much, whereas my mouth and my head are making certain gestures. They're small, but they're enough to let you know as an audience that I'm actually talking to you and interacting with you specifically. If you find yourself getting stiff or awkward when you're on video, this is another time for you to actually just relax, remember your reasons for being there, bring out that inner confidence, and also take a moment to breathe. Studies have shown that people hold their breath about 50% more when they're on video, which can make it seem really weird. So once we have the physical and the confidence down, the next thing you need to think about is your lighting situation. Lighting can make or break your video. And if the point of the video is for you to have a face-to-face interaction with someone, lighting is going to be key to make sure that it not only looks clear, that it promotes a certain level of trust, confidence, and transparency. If you're sitting in a dark, shaded place on a business video, no one is going to want to do business with you. It just looks shady. So for my setup today, what I have is a ring light. That's simply a circular light that stands right in front of your face illuminating it all equally on all angles. You'll notice I have a little bit of backlighting behind me. That actually comes from a window that is to my left. It has a curtain over it so it diffuses the light and doesn't compete with the light on my face. But you'll notice here, no matter how my hair is hanging, my face is still equally lit, meaning you can see all of me from all angles. Again, promoting trust, confidence, and transparency. Little lighting tips like this will go a long way for whatever kind of video production you're doing. If you're simply doing video business meetings at this point, don't slack on the lighting. Still have a good lighting source that comes directly at your face, not overhead, not from one side or the other. So along with the lightings, you also want to be aware of exactly what your surroundings are. Now, it's not always about having a perfect set or a backdrop. So when I say be aware of your surroundings, it means be aware of what's in your area at all times. Perhaps it's not something you'd want in frame. So shooting where I am now, obviously I have control of everything around me. But if you're shooting in an office or an outdoor space or a shared space, you want to make sure that your camera is angled so it's only capturing the view that you would want the viewer to see. Now, these can seem like very simple things I'm telling you, and they really are, but they're just the things that you need to think about in order for your video to come across correctly. Distractions in the background can really take away from your video message. So when in doubt, a bare wall is your best option. Also, maybe using some kind of filter effect like my background, which gives it a slightly blurred feeling. You can see there are objects behind me, but none of them are clearly marked, so you're still focusing on me, with a slightly interesting background behind me, but nothing too distracting. The final tip I want to share with you about how to look good on video is to remember the tone of your video. The tone of this video, obviously, is for business, so I've set it up in a professional looking way, with a clean background, well lighted, in my business casual clothes, all to make sure that I've set the correct tone, that this is professional, this is for business, and this is something you can trust. The tone of your video will speak volumes to your viewer. So even if you couldn't really hear the audio that well, you would understand what was going on in this video. There wouldn't be any mistake to it, that this is a professional person speaking on a professional topic. Whereas if I had some kind of crazy background or maybe off lighting, you wouldn't really be sure about what the point of this video was or the purpose. And as a viewer, that might be a distraction enough to lead you away. When setting up your video, remember less is more. Have a direct light source so the video is clean and easy to see. Have a simple background so there's no distractions. Stand up or sit up straight so you present yourself in a confident manner. And make sure that the overall tone of the video is in line with the message. Using my simple tips, you'll be able to take your next video from something like, oh my God, to wow, that was really great. And maybe you'll start getting compliments on your video presence as well. I hope you found this helpful. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button so you'll know when my next video goes live. I'll see you in the next video.